Zuni. There's no doubt about it that we're under the cosh here, aren't we? You know, from the boys in blue, shall we say. They're, I think every time they get in, going back from Thatcher's days and such as that, they look for ways of transferring what there is in the country to their private pockets, to their private businesses, the corporations that, let's say, sponsor them with large fucking amounts of money. And whether you talk about that being houses all sold off, all the local property sold off, the local council houses. I'm going to make that video after, but I'm having a problem. Well, no. The media files are different when I've downloaded them. It's the same old bullshit if you haven't got all the gear, which I haven't. But I'm going to make that video and show you just, and talk you through my house that I lost, that was left in the condition it was in, you know, due to Preston City Council and Gateway Housing Association, but that's for later. But yeah, what I'm saying is that Zuna, I'm not joking, sometimes you can bring her in the field, she's fine, other times she just eats every piece of shit she sees. Zuna, get up there. Yeah, there's no, the milkiness. We've always been used as, whether it be cannon fodder in the wars, which aren't happening anymore, or whether it be as cheap labour down the pits, you know, in the factories, whatever else. If they could make a few quid out of us, they're happy with us. Yeah, as soon as it comes to the stage where we're costing them a few quid, i.e. when we get ill or whatever, or when there isn't the work that they need us to do the cheap labour for, then they start thinking of other ways. I think that's basically the Tory mentality. See, this is my argument I have against all these right-wing groups and the likes of, you know, Tommy Robinson and everyone complaining about the immigrants in this country and all that. Would there be these immigrants, these refugees, if there hadn't been wars in Afghanistan, Syria, Iraq, now in Yemen? Would there be these refugees making the way here? And actually, if they were making the way here, which they weren't doing before the war kicked off in Syria, I don't recall hundreds of thousands leaving Syria or other parts of the Middle East. But what I'm saying is that if, in the situation we are in this country, and there's no doubt about it, we're on our fucking knees. If you're working class, you're either working for peanuts on 0-hour contracts, minimum wage in most cases, or you're like the likes of me, surviving on a pittance of whatever they're prepared to fucking give you for being sick. But what I'm saying is, if, just let's say there was an influx of refugees, or let's say immigrants, whatever you call them, when these wars hadn't been started, then we could quite easily turn them away at the border. We could quite easily say to them, whoa, you are economic refugees. There is little point in you coming in this country because we're already being fucking shafted by the boys in blue. So we don't want you to come in here and fuck up our chances. Now, you only have to look at the pictures before and after the wars in Libya, where I didn't mention before, Syria. Yeah, these were thriving countries that had its problems under dictators and stuff, but no different than we're under. We're under the cosh from the establishment and from the most evil people in this fucking nation. And there were problems in Iraq, and there were problems in Libya, problems in Syria, but it was controlled by the dictator that they had running them. And let's not fucking forget, we're run by a very similar situation here, to be honest. In fact, There's times when I think ours is even worse, because we're watched on every street corner. You know, it doesn't matter whether it's your local authorities, your council, videoing you parking up to go and buy a fucking pie. Yeah? Someone's trying to make a few quid out of you, here, there and everywhere, with the taxes you pay. Everything you buy has got VAT on it. So you can basically say that on average, you're paying 20% tax on everything you fucking swallow or fucking whatever else. How much you paying on petrol? 55p for every litre of petrol sold. Just think about that. That would be enough to run most small countries without any other tax. But do you understand what I'm saying when I'm talking about these refugees? We could turn them back at the border. If they had a country that looked like it did before these devastating wars took place, we could quite easily return them to the area where they'd come from and say, right, you know, you need to go back there, get your act together, and do as we're doing. Fight against the fucking struggle that we're having and attempt to get some kind of decency back into our lives, because this isn't working. This will never work again. There will never be industry again in this country. Fuck me, that guy who made Dyson washing machines and Dyson Hoovers, he's been leading the Brexit campaign. He's fucked off to China to make his new Dyson electric car. It's never going to be here again. There's never going to be history here again. Not in the fucking the next century. China, Asia, are far too big, and they've got far more cheaper labour, you know, than you'll ever see this country having ever again. And so we need to change the whole system. The system needs to go back to the roots, because we're being poisoned in our education and everything. We need to be educated in how to go back to the land, how to grow our own food, how to produce our own vehicles, if that's what you want to call it. Got no vehicle, Jim. But yeah, we can. Why not? Why not produce them for non-profit, for profit for the people? You know, take back the electric, the gas, the water, the telephone system that Thatcher stole off us, that was ours in the first fucking place. Built with your dollars. Take back the fucking social housing that stood as a safety net for people who don't want to either get on the fucking property ladder or else are incapable of getting on the property ladder. What amazes me about these fucking Tories is that every fucking one of them, and I watched that, you're right, Scotsman, about that horrible cow up there you've got, talking about universal credit. She looks like she's done a lot in her life, doesn't she? Apart from sitting on that big fat arse. But yeah, now I've lost my train of thought now. Yeah, that's what I was saying. These Tories always seem to think or believe, and that's just through the look of being born with the old silver spoon in the fucking hand, or in the mouth, or where they want to shove it. You know, they've never known what fight is, struggle is. You know, but they have this assumption that every single person is the same, mentally, physically, and whatever else. And they presume that because one can get off the knees after an illness, or because one can work in a factory, you know, with fucking blinding noise and fucking, you know, boredom to the fucking, that everybody can do it. It's complete fucking shit. But that is how fucking naive, right, and how very, very, very uneducated in reality these fuckers are. We have to go back to the land. We have to start growing our own vegetables. We have to start rearing our own stock. We can't leave it to these multinational fucking corporations to have a shop on every fucking street corner. You know, whether it be your Aldi's, your Lidl's, your B&Q's, your fucking Home Base, yeah, your Asda's, the lot. No, it's not working. It's not working because it's poisoning the fucking world anyway with its plastics. But when it comes down to as corporations, they're just using and abusing us. They're using and abusing our children. They're using and abusing our fucking, the people from our country. yeah, who deserve, if they're going to go and put 40, 50 hours in, a wage that gives them enough to go on holiday, to have a fucking motor, you know, to school the children and make them happy and go out for a fucking few beers. No, you know, I don't know if you know where I'm coming from, but that's the way I see it, you know. The system's fucked. And the only person who talks the kind of shit I'm talking in politics today is the likes of Jeremy Corbyn, whether he can do it. I mean, I'm not for the Labour Party. It's full of scabs and wankers. And whether he'd be overthrown himself or not, I know he's a man of peace and a guy who's been fighting since the 70s to stop all these wars. And I just think that maybe it's time we did give somebody else a chance. I'm not here shouting for Corbyn. You can come up with any ideas you fucking want, you lot. But I'm sick of this blame towards immigrants and such as that. And if it wasn't for us selling arms to the Saudis, if it wasn't for us producing fucking weapons, I doubt whether there would be the problems there are in the Middle East. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. A lot of this stuff from ISIS to fucking wars have been mass produced. They've been invented by, well, the powers that be, shall we say. Anyway, happy Sunday, people.